What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out the demo for Sapiens. This is a new game that's kind of going in the same direction as Dawn of Man, with maybe a little bit of like an influence there from, what was the name of that game where you were like a monkey and you started out as like baby monkey and then you grew up into big monkey and you learned how to make tools and stuff? I think it was called Ancestors, the Human, I don't know. Anyways, it's kind of like that game as well. This is kind of a mixture between RimWorld and that game, in fact. So it's a colony survival sim where you've got a bunch of tribal cavemen or like prehistoric men, and ultimately it kind of derives its gameplay loop by like discovery and like studying things and figuring out what you can use some stuff for and not others. And honestly, I played it for an hour or two last night and I felt like it had a fairly compelling gameplay loop. So we're going to dive on in today and take a look at it, see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list. I've got a link for you down below in the description. Aside from that, you can also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream down there, but without too much jibber jabber, let's go ahead and create a new game because we've only got a limited amount of time to play around with. Let's create a world. Yeah, we'll do that right there, and we'll do that right there. There we go. And so it's going to regenerate a world for us. Let's jump on in. Dude, I'm getting like big Baba Yetu vibes from this soundtrack right here. It's making me feel all epic for being prehistoric man, like discovery. For millennia, sapiens have been exploring Monsiwi Sin. Small tribes are scattered wide across the world, traveling, gathering, hunting, and surviving. These primitive sapiens are happy, but they are limited by their lack of knowledge and ambition. Yeah, tell me about it. That's like the story of my life. Alone, they may survive, but they can never reach their full potential. Man, they're really hitting the nail on the head right now. Feeling a little targeted. You are to become the guardian of a tribe of sapiens. You will give them direction and purpose. Your goal is to encourage them to learn, advance, and grow, and ultimately create a thriving sapien civilization. Those you choose to lead will be the ancestors of an entire species, so choose your tribe wisely. Okay, so like these tribes look like they live out in the middle of the water. Oh, there we go. The planet just popped in. I was going to say, dude, are we like especially buoyant? Oh, wow, there's a lot of humans. Good Lord. We're all over the place. Are you sure they need me? I feel like they're doing a pretty good job of propagating on their own. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if my intervention is strictly necessary. I don't really want to be on an island. I'd rather be like on the mainland somewhere. Let's go like coastal maybe. Yeah, like this little like peninsula right here looks pretty cool. Like maybe these guys right here. There's only 2 sapiens there? Okay, that's not enough sapiens. I need more sapiens. Like some of them start out like, there we go. There's our guys. So we've got Nakui, who is fearful and energetic. We have Lanali, who is fearful and rises early. We have Olopa, who is charismatic. And we have Waso, who is charismatic but lazy. There's no tooltips for these, so I honestly have no idea what any of these perks do. But whatever, dude. Everybody's got flaws. I'm lazy. I mean, you know, happens to the best of us. All right, so here we are. This game has kind of a curious control scheme, in all honesty, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. Basically, it's got like a freeform camera, like you're a spectator for some kind of esport, where you can just fly around freely. But it's not really a God game. Typically, games where you see this kind of control mechanism, they are God games. But in the case of this one, not a God game, but it controls kind of like an RTS or a God game, where you've basically got free camera control. You can rotate how you want, you can fly around how you want, you can look at what you want. But anyways, we need to gather some hay. Gathering hay is pretty easy. You just find a spot like that right there. You tell them to gather. I'm actually going to make this a little bit larger. So we'll kind of like tear up like that little area right there. That sounds good. Go for it. Perfect. The game does not use rubber band boxes. Kind of an interesting UI decision in the course of making this game, where ultimately a lot of the tasks that you do in stuff like RimWorld or something like Clanfolk or any of those other colony builders, you can't really do in this game. It uses like all manual selection where you like click on a tile and then you tell it to expand a circle around that tile and like forage the whole thing. Takes a little bit of a learning curve, but you get used to it eventually. I'm not exactly sure if I'm like a massive fan of it because it tends to be a little click intensive, but there's our hay. We told our little guys to gather up some hay and they have done that. We'll go ahead and do the little tutorials real fast. The game does feature speed up and slow down modes. It does have a push pause, just in case that's one of those features that you tend to look for. We need to make storage areas. That's fine by me, but instead, what I'd like to do is let's harvest all the grass from kind of like that area right there. I'd like to have like a little dirt patch paddock that we kind of live on before we get going anywhere else. And plus, we're going to need a lot of grass in order to get things done anyways. And so it's honestly like not that big and huge of a deal. I love that undulating grass graphic that they've got going on right there, where like the wind comes across the plain and it actually creates like the undulating waves of the wind crossing across. I really, really like that. That's a really good look. I don't know if it'll show up inside the YouTube video, just because YouTube's compression is like straight out of 2007, and so any game with like a lot of grass or a lot of things going on sometimes doesn't translate properly, but is what it is. Let's go ahead and do some building here. We can get some storage areas set up, and since that's what the game wants, I'm going to give the game what it desires. It wants me to make 6 of these, huh? Okay, we can put one right there, one right there. These do have snap together, in case you were wondering. So they do click on in once you put down the first one, but the first placement is going to be freeform, and then you can rotate it with the right click right there. So anyways, we'll drop that off the cursor. As you can see, they're creating storage areas. Some of our grass has begun to dry, so that's really, really good, because the grass is functionally useless until we dry it on out. On the plus side, we've got a really, really, really good grip of grass right here, and I do like the way that they actually store and stack things, and the items actually maintain their own individual identity when they go on into the storage, and they actually stack on top of one another like iteratively, one by one. I think that's a really, really good feature that actually makes the game quite a bit more immersive. So as you can see, all the hay's going on in there, and we got some serious hay pile rocking. They want me to store some branches. I think I can probably get away with that. Let's go ahead and we'll select more right here. And I'm just going to tell them to select all 5 of those trees, and then we're going to gather apple branches over here, because we're not going to be able to do a whole lot of construction until we've got branches inside of our inventory. And as you can tell, the game is minimalist. I do think the animations are a little bit rough on these little guys. I think they could be a tad more fluid and human-like. But that being the case, it's not really a stopping point that I'm going to get upset about. As far as I understand it, this is a game that's made by like a very, very, very small team. And honestly, for the couple hours I spent with it last night, I was surprised. I didn't really, for a first tech demo kind of alpha, or I didn't really notice any major bugs or any major issues. The game ran smooth. Everything functioned fine. There was one point, I think, where all the graphics disappeared for about 10 seconds, and then they all popped back in, but that was really the only major problem that I came across with the demo, and I think that was mostly just like a pop-in issue, like something happened maybe with the way that it was accessing the graphics driver or something, and it needed to like refresh everything, but I don't know, it only happened that one time, so I can't really speculate too hard on it. We need to make beds because our Sapiens like having places to sleep, and so what we'll do is we'll click on this tile right here to open up the building menu, and we'll get some hay beds real quick so that everybody can relax. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of put these in like a semicircle, I think. And in fact, I think if I get that to right there, and then we kind of just rotate the camera a little bit, we can get these to sort of look satisfying on the ground. And while we're here, I'm going to make an extra one, just in case we pick up new cavemen. Occasionally, like, other tribal people will be walking around, and you can send your people to investigate them, basically. And there's a pretty good chance that they'll join up into your colony and become a part of it. All the building in this game is also iterative. That's another detail that I like, is that, what's another game where this happened? So, like, The Forest, if you've ever played that, or if you've ever played Stranded Deep, the objects in this game are actually comprised of the number of things that go into them. So if you tell them to build a stick wall, and the wall takes 4 sticks and like 4 hay, they will actually like put the 4 sticks in place one by one, and then they will build the wall around the 4 sticks with the 4 hay. Like, it's one of those things that's tremendously immersive, and I don't know why it doesn't get included into more colony builders. Like, it's a really, really good feature that I like a lot. I don't like it when you like put down a building and they just sit there and hammer on it for a little bit, and then it magically poofs into existence. I like watching it get constructed bit by bit and piece by piece. I always find that's a little bit more, it allows you to sink into the game and get cozy a little bit better, I guess. Okay, so all of our beds have been built. We've got space and a little to spare for new Sapiens that come on in. They want me to do discovery. And so discovery is actually pretty simple. Everything in this game can be selected. So like these sticks over here, you can select them and you can say to use them for crafting. You can build more storage areas. You can manage what goes into various storage areas. You can remove them from storage, or you can investigate them. And what this basically means is that one of your cavemen is going to come over here and they're going to stare at the stick. They're going to ponder the meaning of the stick, the strength of the stick, the ire of the stick. And once they have cataloged all of the great meanings of the stick, then we will get new blueprints from whence we can actually, like, make new stuff. I don't see too many rocks around here. That does seem to be kind of a dead point in our overall harvesting. I'm going to tell them to select more right here. There's not a lot of rocks around, though, but I am going to select all of them. And I'm going to select them all for storage. And as you can see, all those rocks over here got grabbed. There is a dead mammoth over here, strangely enough. I don't know why there's a dead mammoth over here, but there is. Rots in a few days. Okay. Yeah, we might be able to. I mean, it's got them big old tuskies, dude. It's got the tuskies that make you husky. And then it's also got hide so that we can make upgraded beds made out of mammoth fur. What is that right there? Flax? Sure, we might as well. I mean, can we collect it? I don't even know if we can collect the flax. Yeah, gather the flax too. Why not? We might as well make full use of everything that's in our area. We can also gather apples from over here. I'm just going to gather from these 3 apple trees right here because the food does rot. It does have kind of like a limited duration, so I think that over-harvesting can lead to a little bit of heartbreak. And so we're going to gather from the trees right here, and we'll save these other 2 trees for later when we might potentially need a little bit more of an energetic fill-up. But as you can see, my little caveman over there is dragging back some rocks. I am going to queue these up for investigation. I don't know if everybody in my tribe can actually investigate. If we go to the tribe menu, it looks like only 2 of my guys are available for investigation. I would say let's go ahead and add 1 more person to that pile. I don't want to have, like, one guy who is like the universal scientist. Otherwise, if something happens to him, we'll end up with a big old colony full of dummies that don't know what they're doing. Zoom to the most recent notification. A breakthrough is nearly complete. That's okay. It's right here. I don't really need to know about that, but this guy is doing something somewhat dubious to the stick. Your tribe has discovered that heat is generated from friction when you rub sticks together. If it gets hot enough, an ember is produced and you can start a fire, which will give you warmth and light. Very nice. So we can make torches and we can make campfires now. And then we've got this terrifying stick that's on fire that's just laying on the ground in the middle of the grass and might start a brush fire where we all die. But that's okay because we've got a big handful of giant maraschino cherries. So everything's going to be all right. Everybody knows that the maraschino cherry is like the best part of the ice cream sundae. They are running off to go get the flax. Someone should be investigating rock right now. Are you investigating rock? Is that the look of a man who is pondering the meaning of the great lith? All right. Well, you do. Oh, what is he pondering right now? Oh, he's pondering the hay. He's just staring at the hay. Gotcha. Dried grass, bequeath upon me thy secrets, that I might divine thy great strength in the eyes of God. All right, so we will go over here, and we will gather up some more rocks. If there's one thing I know about this game, it's that I'm going to need an utterly absurd number of rocks. And so I'm just going to let them... We've only got 4 rock right now. We need like 20 rock. There we go. So we have discovered how to nap rocks. Napping rocks is basically kind of flicking them together over and over and over again until you whittle off pieces to get it into the shape that you want. But that's good because that's given us tools and the ability to make tools. So that's really, really good. And in fact, you can see all the random small rocks over here that are laying about. And then he's almost done with his stick investigation as well. And it looks like he's trying to discover the ancient art of wall framing. Your tribe has discovered that when dried vegetation is lined up and placed over a supporting structure, it will give you a watertight shelter. Hell yeah, it will, brother. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need, crafting areas. Let's go ahead and we will put in a couple of crafting areas. Each crafting area is going to require like a big rock from what I remember. There we go. So we've got some crafting areas right there. I don't know why we need 4 of them. The game wants me to have 4 of them, so like I'm just kind of going along with it. I would like to find, dude, that's a big tree right there. That's a beefy chonky boy of a tree. We've got like a little birch tree over here. Yeah, gather some sticks from it. And then what is this supposed to be right here? A pine tree? What happened to its lower limbs? That looks like a pine tree to me. This right here, I don't know, some kind of weird poplar or something. I don't know, dude. I wasn't exactly sure what it might be. Oh, dude, there's a chicken over here. Sweet, dude. Now we have access to the great and powerful nuggies, and we shall take them for ourselves. With greed and great vengeance, we will ride upon the pollo. All right, so crafting area is done. We actually have to queue up some tools now. It wants me to make some knives and axes. So I guess I'll go ahead and do that. Like, yeah, go ahead and make like 4 knives. Absolutely. There you go. And then over here, we'll go ahead and, well, no, don't want to do that. But over here, we'll do like stone hand axes. Yeah, that sounds good. We can make like 4 of those. It looks like we can use small rocks for it, or we can use large rocks for it, so we should be okay. There's like little rocks laying around out here, so they should be useful for one thing or another. It looks like people are headed back with loads of sticks, as I commanded them to do, for I am the great cave god. It looks like there's another mammoth over there, too. Why are all of these mammoths dying, dude? What happened to all the mammoths? What killed you, great and powerful fuzzy elephant? What has laid hand? Is that a pumpkin? Dude, that's totally a pumpkin. I like pumpkin. Pumpkin is great. Dude, did we kill the elephants? Like, or did they? I don't understand why there's so many dead elephants around. Like, what ended them? Like, if it can end them, it can definitely end us. That's the part that's got me concerned. Hey, there they go. It looks like they're making the thing right now. Yeah, make myself a knife. There we go. That's what every society needs. A knife. It was actually that quick? Man, I thought that the process of making like a knife or like a hand axe was going to be much more involved. Investigate the tree. That way we can learn how to chop down trees. And then, why is it not storing knives and stuff inside of there? Managing my storage. Let's see. You know, I think they're sorting it out item by item. So we may just need more storage spots. I don't really feel like fiddling with like what's allowed in each location. I think everything's allowed, but I think each storage area can only hold like one thing. And so that's why they're not putting the knives and the axes and things like that in there. There we go. Let's just make the storage area like a little bit larger. Perfect. Now we've got space. There we go. Now they're storing up the knife. Yeah, you're chopping down the apple tree. Yeah, stop chopping. If you're going to do that, go chop down the one that doesn't produce food. This one right here literally farts food into existence. That's not the tree we want to chop down. We want to chop down the tree that has no functional use at all except for being a building material. That's the one that we want to, like, emulate. That's the one that we want to enact cruelty upon. But you leave the trees that fart food alone. Our living area has these llamas over here. Little do they know, llamas are like one of my favoriteest animals. Look at this llama over here, dude. He's just taking like a little llama nap. He's just llamaing out, dude. Llamaing it up. That's the good stuff right there. I wish I was just a llama in the middle of a grass field taking a nap. That sounds like the life to me. Oh, it wanted me to make a campfire too. Maybe I should do that so that we don't freeze to death tonight. I'll put a campfire right there. There we go. So that everybody sleeps around the fire so that we can all have sweaty ankles together. That is the ultimate goal of society. That's the whole reason we started hanging out with one another, is just to have sweaty ankles in community. That tree falls down and crushes one of my sapiens. I'm really hoping that it won't. But I've got this nervous feeling that it will. Oh, look, there's a new guy over here. Who is this guy? Just running around being all naked in a field. What's up, dude? What's going on? His name is Meppa? Yeah, ask Meppa if he wants to hang out with us. With enough strikes, even the mightiest trees will go down. This provides wooden logs which burn for longer, but there might be other uses too. Did we get sticks out of the tree? Because, like, I need more sticks. I guess I should probably have somebody study one of the logs too. It looks like we got a couple of sticks and, like, a pine cone. Should be fine. So basically, he's queued up for recruiting. If we have somebody tagged as a diplomat, they'll go over there and basically hold him up with a knife and be like, hey, join us or die. And then he'll be like, okay, please don't stab me with that rough piece of rock. There she goes. I think our diplomat is headed on out to brigand this guy. Just point at him with a hand axe and be like, join us. Like, okay, your threats of violence have made me your friend. Stop running away. I just want to be your friend. I just want to be friends. Like, no. You smell like Kotiha. The animation for recruiting is kind of rough. They kind of just, like, stand there like this right here with this dead look on their face. And, like, honestly, you know, friendship can definitely lead to dead looks on your face. Is that another guy? Oh, there's another guy. Go, yeah. Go make her join us real fast. And then we should also probably start building of the buildings. That way we can move our stuff around. So let's do that. And it looks like we can build up some thatch walls. Sure, let's start with a door. Why not? A long way away from the fire, because burning to death is horrifying. There we go. We'll just put that in right there. All right, and then we put you right there. Snap-in seems to be working perfectly fine. I don't know if the walls have an in-face and an out-face. It doesn't look like they do. Okay, that's fine. I may actually use this as a storage hut and just have everybody live outside for a little bit. Let's test the building system here. Let's do a building that's not a square and see how it deals with it. There we go. We've made a non-square building. We've got some kind of Tetris shape going on, and we're going to see if it can handle the roofing pressure. And let's go to, there's roof corners, there's thatch roofs right there, thatch hut roofs. It looks like the hut roof will go on right there. However, I think we're going to have to get creative with that other side of the roof. So let's see if we have the building pieces to do it. So there's a large thatch roof right there. There's corners. So let's fill in our corners first. Oh, wow. That's like huge. Yeah, that's pretty enormous. I actually did not expect it to be that big. Okay. So it looks like most of the building revolves around things being, like, square in shape. I think we can get that to work, but, like, it's kind of hard to say. But instead, I think the safer way to do this is just to put this in right here and then put that in right there, basically. And then we'll just kind of fill in the gaps a little bit. It works fine. There we go. Build ourselves a little storehouse right there. And that'll be our first major, like, big building project, you know what I mean? So we have learned woodworking. We can make split logs, and we can make a log drum. Are you telling me that I now have the power and ability to rock? Like, my tribes people have the ability to walk up and be like, hello, Cleveland! Alright. Apparently there are no other pine trees here. I mean, it's fine. I just need branches, so branch it up, cousin. I feel kind of bad that I'm sending my tribespeople, like, so far away from where we are, but it's a little bit patchy and sparse out here when it comes to trees. And so anyways, although I do love that skyline right there. It looks really, really good. Like, this is one of those odd games that manages to strike the balance in between, like, minimalism and graphical fidelity. And aside from the character animations, the game is kind of nice to look at. It's pretty. So we've got 3 people sleeping right now, and we've got 2 people up and running around. Who is this? Who's this guy? Oh, that's my dude. Wait. Do we have 6 people? Oh, yeah, I recruited 2, didn't I? I recruited that Luma girl or whatever. This would be an easy time to make a Luma yay joke, but, like, I feel like that's going to date me a little bit, so I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to vaguely reference it as, like, you know, I barely know what that is, dude. I think I heard my dad talk about that one time, and then we're just going to move on, okay? That's what we're going to do here. What is that? There's a dead alpaca over here? What killed him? Oh, no, dude. Who has committed and perpetrated this great and heinous crime against nature's finest animal, the alpaca? That upsets me. I don't like that very much. Someone killed one of our alpacas. I had just made the decision that we were going to have an entire caveman pantheon that revolved around access to and usage of alpacas, and now that whole idea is shot. It's all ruined. If you go to the character selector over here too, all your little guys are like leveling up, so they've all got little icons over here. I would recommend that in the final version they get a little bit better of like a character sheet. So I like this right here, that like all the knowledge and things that they know are sorted into one area. I would like to see, yeah, I'd like to see another panel that has all of their moodles basically, like all their good moods and their bad moods and all their buffs and their debuffs on it. And then, like, their happiness and tooltip for, like, what fearful means. Like, early riser seems like it's fairly self-explanatory. It's a little bit harder to tell how fearful is going to affect the greater experience. But as you can see, they're starting to piece together this wall over here. Building in this game is a big project. It takes a while. Like, it is not something that's going to happen quickly. I can virtually promise you that. So anyways, my recommendation is that you just put it on maximum speed and let it ride, in all honesty. And it looks like there's another investigation we can do right there on the grass. So if we have somebody extra, like, go for it. Like, by all means, like, give it a run and let me know what you come up with. I don't know exactly what they think they're going to learn by staring at dirt. But you know what? I didn't know exactly what they were going to derive by staring at a stick either. And so, who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? Let's go ahead and we will select the radius over here. And I want all those sticks brought back to town, because we are getting a little bit low on sticks. I'd also like to send somebody to investigate one of these mammoths, in all honesty. Well, she's digging, so I can only guess that maybe it's some kind of like trench working or irrigation or something. Like, maybe not irrigation, that seems a little bit advanced, but maybe we'll be able to, I don't know, maybe plant things, maybe, is what I'm guessing. I don't know. Let's see here. Digging. Hand axes can be used to easily remove the top layer of the soil, transport it elsewhere, and reveal what is underneath. Oh, we got the ability to make paths and stuff. Okay, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is, like, fairly promising stuff. Like I said, I think the only thing that I've run into that, like, was immediately obvious was just, like, the rough animations. But for a small team, the game seems to be reasonably well assembled. Like, as of yet, I've been watching both now and last night, trying to see if there was, like, logic failures with characters getting stuck, or, like, pathfinding problems with the nav mesh, or anything else like that. And honestly, it seems to be pretty clean. Like, it's a prehistoric colony survival sim, where everything seems to work pretty well. And it's got an art style that it really, really leans into that I think looks great. Honestly, performance has been absolutely fantastic, even on the maxed out settings with all the grass effects going and everything else. I'm interested. I definitely enjoyed Dawn of Man. That was one of my favorite games to ever come out while I've been a YouTuber. Just really, really enjoyed the concept of that game. enjoyed it tremendously. And so I also enjoyed that Humankind, or whatever it is, like Ancestors, Humankind Awakening, or whatever that game was where you start out with a monkey and you slowly evolve towards a human by like whittling sticks and throwing rocks at giant snakes. That game was also super fun. And so honestly, as somebody, I have a minor in paleontology. I got a degree in geology with a minor in paleontology. And so anyways, I love stuff from like prehistory. And so honestly, this seems to be barking up the proper tree. I will keep an eye on it as it develops. I'm not going to go too hard in on like the UI or other things that I see that could be done a little bit better. Like honestly, I feel like most of the things they accomplish in this game, like this select more button for selecting more things of a similar type, like if you count this out, so 1 click, 2 click, 3 click, 4 click, 5 click, 6 clicks. Whereas with a rubber band box, it would just be like bam, bam, done, like 2 clicks. But like those are minor concerns. Like honestly, I do think that selection and everything, we already have a better way to do a lot of the stuff that this game is trying to do when it comes to like item selection and whatnot. But like I'm willing to forgive it because this is made by a super small team, and like, frankly, it's far more competent than I expected. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Thank you for stopping on in. I'll have something for you hot and fresh off the indie skillet tomorrow, but for now, it's time for me to go. Thank you for the luxury of your attention, and goodbye, everybody.